Oh, right. I'm live. I'm live. Okay, so this topic I want to cover. I'm trying to keep up, man. I'm watching so much, listening to so much news. I heard so much news today. So I'm trying to just kind of keep up with all the news. It's a lot. Okay, so far what I'm following is that um, they are finding, because it's turning into, money being funneled to terrorists in Somalia and beyond. There's a couple of LLCs that have crossed state lines using similar bank accounts. There's some patterns going on. So they're realizing that this is not just, at first they was thinking this is a Minnesota problem with these Somalis. That's what they were thinking. What they're finding out is they got problems in Maine, where there's a large Somali population, fraud, all kinds of stuff. They're finding out that in Columbia, Ohio, similar. Okay, and I think they say it goes down to Texas. So Texas, I think they said, did they say Nebraska? I can't remember. Mm, Michigan, I think, is another one, somewhere in Michigan. So, long story short, they are starting to realize that wherever there are Somalis in large number and quantity, there is fraud. There's stealing, there's criminal activity, organized. So, there's kind of like a network here. And they're realizing that they also have people who've come in under false pretenses, large amounts, people who should have been deported and who haven't been. I mean, man, it's deep. They're realizing that, like, they've kind of, the United States government has been infiltrated through all kinds of different social program fraud. And they said that these folk be living in the projects. There are a lot of people who are coming forth who live in these places. I just listened to Lisa Cabrera, and they had black folks who live in Columbus, and they were talking about their experiences with Somalis, same similar situations I had. Um, and they were saying these folks live in the projects, but they drive in a Mercedes. And you're like, how you afford that? And it's very, very interesting because one of the things they've been doing since Trump called them trash and garbage, they have decided be arrogant, to combat the negativity. They don't read America well. You and your people stole a lot of money from hardworking people. You and your people are like starving in the desert under war, and then somebody brought you to the best country in the world, and you turn around and you gave them your ass to kiss. You stole from the American taxpayer. They said that these people had been put on paperwork called like long-term disability so that their checks never ended. So some of them have been sitting on welfare since 1990, a lot of them. And they've been passing this welfare on unquestioned, no work requirements. This one lady just talked about how she was teaching ESOL to make sure they learn how to speak English, to assimilate. She said there had been some that had been sitting in the class for 10 years and hadn't learned a lick of English. They only come to the class because it was required for them to attend the classes, not graduate, but attend the class for English instead of working. Wow. Fucking wow. So they set up the welfare state in some of these places so that the Somalis couldn't just not work and reap the benefits. Well, if you give me 30 years of not paying no bills, you damn right. I can do some shit with that. I can open up businesses, right? I can send my kids to college. I can afford a nice luxury car. So they have been basically living off of the American taxpayer, And so people who are like, but you just letting Trump direct. It doesn't matter. Is it true? Now that we know, what are we as Americans going to do about that? The people who are born here. I mean, you got veterans who are literally have blown off legs and limbs and they're hurt and they can't get no help. They sitting homeless. But you got a Somali scamming the system. And they second, third generation living their best life. Make it make sense. How do you square that circle? You gonna stand up for people who ain't never fought a day in this country, ain't never built nothing for this country, and they just came over here as a refugee, and they are scamming the whole fuck out of everything, collecting thousands upon thousands of dollars in benefits. If you give me free housing, a voucher for my utilities, if you give me free food, and my children get to go to school free, and I got free health care, what the fuck you think I would be able to get done in 10 years, in 20 years? So you don't turn around and brag on the internet how you just jealous because we're doing better than you. Y'all, I'm not going to go into my experiences with the Somalis. I will bring up a couple of things. I'll say this. They're in trouble. They have no remorse. They have no humbleness. They can't read the room. And this is going to be their downfall. And I'm going to tell you why. Because the Somalis have proven that they are not suitable for the first world. Everything that they've done, they're not suitable for a developed nation like America. Okay? If they were suitable, they would have assimilated. They cannot assimilate. They cannot. We know that there's plenty of people from India, Arab countries. There's some of the most, high standard, quality people, quality behavior. I go into their homes. These Arabs, these Pakistani homes are clean, orderly. Everything is very orderly. Very nice. They take care of themselves. They take care of everything. So this is not a Muslim thing. I want to be clear about that. That's not a Muslim thing. I know Africans. Go in African people's homes, same thing. That depends what country. But I be around Nigerians and stuff, assimilated people. Senegalese, West Africans are very well assimilated people. Our Caribbeans, we feel like they just like us. We can't even tell they a Caribbean until they tell us. So assimilation is important. It's important. If you're going to stay somewhere, you need to be able to assimilate. Be able to understand culturally what's going on. Understand the boundaries and the barriers and what's good and what's bad. You got to understand. But these people keep themselves separated. And now they've grown arrogant and they're exposing that. This is a shameful thing. And see, I'm not trying to be mean, but these people are not intelligent. And I know firsthand, y'all want to listen to Lisa Cabrera, and you can listen to this lady who was teaching English. The IQ is not high. You're talking about generationally, people who don't have no education. They're not smart people. I've been around them. I'm going to say this. These are the reasons why I'm going to tell you they're not easy to assimilate. First and foremost, they don't know how to coordinate clothing to make themselves appear, suitable to the United States and people. The women wear very clunky, weird clothing, shoes. They don't do foot hygiene. And a lot of the women are like 400, 500 pounds. I'm just being honest. Okay? And they wear like 5, 6, 7 different textures of colors and patterns at the same time. Something about, they just put on clothes. They don't think about it. They just put on clothes. That's one thing. Another thing that makes them not easy to assimilate, they don't want to learn English. I understand they probably have an educational issue. A lot of those people are not educated. They don't have a basic education. That makes them not suitable. Most of all the women, they do not work. They cannot work. Most of the women don't drive, can't drive, and they would be considered an insult for them to want to drive. They're getting out of their place. The women are very beat down, and they don't have any skills. Most of the women have 7, 8 children, 10. That's all they do. They reproduce. Another thing that a lot of people are going to find out, I just heard them talking about it, was female genital mutilation. This makes them unsuitable for the United States as well. So I don't want to be too graphic, but one of the things that happens with female genital mutilation, that means 98% of all Somalian women, the clitoris has been cut off, the inner labia has been cut off, and the outer labia is cut and sewed together so that you have a flat coochie. There's nothing there. You know how you have what do you call it, a Barbie doll? The Barbie doll has a flat coochie. That's how the Somali coochie look. They cut all the stuff off, all the meat, everything that make a coochie. They basically cut the coochie off. They leave a hole. And that's something to deal with. You got 98% of your women walking around with no coochie. That's crazy. And it's because the men say they don't want them to have a sexual desire. That makes them unsuitable for the United States. A culture that thinks it's best to cut off. Girl is 5 years old, and 3 years old, they just cut all the coochie meat off and sew it up. Make it a flat pad. Nothing there. Weird. Another thing that makes them unsuitable, they marry their cousins. A lot of them are interbred. That makes them unsuitable for the United States. Another thing that makes them unsuitable is a lot of the men, their biggest desire in Somali culture is to marry underage, like young girls, 10 years old, 12 years old. So they have like pedophilia. Naturally, they think that's part of their culture, pedophilia. So that makes them unsuitable to the United States. Do we have pedophiles? Yes, we do. But it's not common culture. Like, it's not something we promote. You could say that in Somalians that you want to marry a 10-year-old. Nobody blinks an eye. Nobody blinks an eye. Another thing that makes them unsuitable is their hygiene. And I don't want to get into it. I'm just going to say hygiene, and I'm going to leave that at that. Okay? There's just a lot going on with these people. And also they have a rape culture, Women don't have any rights. If rape happens to a woman, that it's her fault. And not only that, when I lived in apartments, I didn't talk about that the other day, but they have a lot of domestic violence. The men think it's their natural right to just, beat women. And they do it quite regularly. And I guess it's because they keep the women uneducated, so they just kind of stupid. That's another thing. The Somalis are not suitable to the United States because they don't think that women are supposed to be able to drive a car, run for office. I don't know how Ilhan got past this. I don't know. Maybe she's a upscale or a wealthy. I don't know. I'm not sure. Some status that she's exempt. But generally, yeah, they're not supposed to be doing much at all. That's just traditionally. So women have a very low status. And they're treated poorly, and beating women and all this other stuff. Forced marriages. And right now, I'm sure that, like most of these Somalis that are here, they're cutting coochies off. They're doing it right here in the United States, which is illegal. They're cutting off coochies. This stuff makes them unsuitable. They're scammers. They're criminals. They're criminals over there. They're violent. And Trump wasn't lying when he said that they basically run around killing each other. That's what they do. They're pirates. They don't actually understand in America that you're supposed to work hard, sacrifice, wait, and work. And keep keep working. That's not their way. They said they have a history. All Africans, especially in East Africa, see them as nothing but scammers, cheaters, liars, and thieves. See, I didn't know East Africans felt that way. I'm just listening to all this stuff. So they actually have, I didn't know they were scammers. I knew they were pirates. But I thought that was because they was in Somalia. I thought if maybe for some reason if they were here, they wouldn't be like that. Because there's plenty here. But that's not the case. And I understand because some people do believe, like, the smartest person is the one who can steal. I've seen that. I've seen that mentality in poor countries. In poor countries, they think if they didn't want me to steal it, they should have, that's their fault. They shouldn't have made it so I couldn't steal it. That's why you'll go into some countries like in Haiti. In certain places, everything in the store is behind a glass wall. You have to ask for what you want. They're not going to let you touch, look at, read, nothing. You ask for one item at a time, they slip it through. After you paid for it, they'll show it to you through the glass. But you ain't finna touch shit. There ain't no aisles and all that stuff. No. That's the understood thing. If you don't want me to steal it, you better keep it out of my distance. And so this goes along with the mentality of what Ilhan said. They confronted her on CNN. They said to Ilhan, they said, listen, your people did fraud. How is it possible? Why do you think that this got so big and so crazy? Who is responsible? You know what her answer was supposed to be? Ilhan's answer was supposed to be, my people are good people. But in this case, we had some bad apples. We had a significant part of our population take advantage of the good people of the United States. And we are so grateful that we were able to come here, and we want to stay. And it's going to be on my watch. I will make sure, as long as I'm in the United States and in power, that I will not allow anybody, including people in my community, to defraud. She don't have no PR skills, none. This bitch fuck around and said that it was the FBI's fault for not catching the Somalis. Let me get this straight. They deliver you from a war-torn country. You send out there in famine and dust in the desert with no infrastructure, dying in the hot sun. They put y'all asses on planes, deliver you to the lap of luxury, planes, transportation. They got these Lutheran churches bringing y'all in, giving y'all classes, education, trying to acclimate y'all, making sure y'all are fed, taken care of, putting y'all in housing, giving y'all jobs, getting your men trained and treating y'all with dignity, bringing y'all into the mosque, helping y'all create a community. They give you all of that. Free food, free this, free that. And your children are getting something your country would never have given you. You'd have never got nothing from Somalia. Somalia is just like Haiti. It's just dust and rubble. There's no infrastructure. How many people you ever heard want to go to Somalia? Hey, Mela, what's up? How many people y'all know want to go to Somalia? You ever heard? I never met I know a lot of travelers. I know a lot of adventurous people, y'all. I never, ever met anybody who said they're going to Somalia. Matter of fact, when people think of Africa, nobody thinks of going to Somalia. You know what they think about? They think about going to Ethiopia, which is next door. They all want to go to Kenya, South Africa. They want to go to Ghana, Nigeria, Senegal, Gambia, Sierra Leone, Mali, Morocco, Egypt. Oh, pretty much anywhere. Anywhere. Zimbabwe. People go everywhere in Africa. You know where they don't go? Motherfucking Somalia. Somalia is a shithole. It's a piece of garbage. It's a hellhole. It's a raggedy ass desert with a bunch of dusty bulb heads. Crazy people. Uncivilized. And it's just crazy that they're here talking shit. You people are literally uncivilized. You uncivilized over there. I can never say that about any other Africans I've met. Africans are extremely civil, especially West Africans. Especially West Africans who practice Islam. And even the Christians. Very civilized people. They know what their culture teaches them what's right and wrong. Now, if they scam or something here, there, I'm talking about Nigerians. I know. But the Nigerians, I know, they're educated, they're intelligent. They do well. The Senegalese, so many people, the Ghanaians, Kenyans. I mean, I know so many Africans. I never met a degenerate African in my life. Not one. Not one. But Somalis, oh man, oh my God. Between teaching and living in an apartment complex for 1 year, I learned so much. All that domestic violence they got, them men just beating them women, and the yelling and the screaming and the crying and loudness and the dirtiness. They used to leave like trash bags, stinking, funky trash bags in the hallway, soaking the carpet to stink. They had so many nasty behaviors. And this is the part I didn't tell y'all because I was embarrassed. If I got to just come clean, I was so mad with my ex-husband because I did not appreciate him thinking that he knew best when we're both together and we got to move somewhere. And he learned his lesson. After we had to stay on that lease with them Somalis in that neighborhood, in apartments, he learned his lesson. Let a woman be participating. Don't just pick an apartment and just think because you're the man and you paying for it, you got it. We ended up living, y'all, let me tell you, we ended up living with roaches. Roaches. I'm going to say it again. Roaches, 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 roaches. Roaches. You pick up a cup, it's 5 roaches under it. You try to use your. You had to throw my. I had to throw my fucking toaster away. I had to throw my microwave away. I had to throw so many things away. When we left, we didn't even take nothing but our clothes, and those had to be shaken out. I was so humiliated. I was on that apartment complex. I was like, can you just spray again? I had never lived with roaches in my life. Y'all know that they had a movie in the 90s called Joe's Apartment. That shit was like that. Them roaches was dancing. Them roaches was so liberated. You could have the fucking lights on. They just be walking past you like ain't shit happening. It ain't nothing to sit there and the roach be sitting beside you on the couch. Them roaches was everywhere. I remember my alarm clock. I hit my alarm clock one day, fucking roach came in. I thought, oh my God. Oh my fucking God. Oh, honey, that's probably why I'm so mad with these Somalis. It was their fault. They so nasty. They so fucking nasty. They don't vacuum. I'm trying to tell y'all, I'm not just being prejudiced. I love the African people. All the African people, they have high standards. I ain't got no problem with Africa. I was married to a West African. There's some clean motherfuckers, okay? You're going to have some exceptions just like you do African Americans. But I'm telling you, them Somalis are some uncivilized people. Matter of fact, where they work at, they actually have to put a sign up telling them don't stand on the toilet. There's a particular DeKalb Farmers Market where they work. There's a lot of them there. They made a program to bring them in just to stock vegetables. So when you go in there, it's all Somalis stocking vegetables. That's kind of the skill set they at, you know. But the refugee program puts them in there. And you go in the bathroom, it has an actual, because they can't read. Most of them are illiterate. So they have a picture. And the picture shows a woman standing on top of the toilet. So they had been tearing the toilets up. Because they come in there and they're thinking about back home, you stand on the ground and there's a hole and you bend your butt down. You stand with your leg left and right. So the Somalis women, they would come inside and they would stand on the toilet. Yeah, left and right foot on the toilet. And they was tearing up the damn toilets. You know, the toilet lid goes up and down. You're not supposed to stand on it. So they were cracking and tearing up the toilets. They're uncivilized. I'm trying to tell you. So they still, next time I go to the DeKalb Farmers Market, I'm going to show y'all the picture. I'll take a picture of the thing. And it's a picture of a woman, and it's showing like X. Don't stand on top. And then it shows like a check mark that says, sit here. You got to tell them because they don't know how to use a toilet. I'm trying to tell you, these people are uncivilized. If you ever see like a caveman, that's how these people operate. That's why they stay to themselves, because they're highly uncivilized. I'm not lying, y'all. Every African that I know, they read, they write, they good, they're intelligent, they read the room. Motherfuckers driving Mercedes, Lexus, they be doing good. These Africans, all the Africans I know are doing well. I can't talk shit about no Africans. Them Somalians, that's some garbage. They need to take that shit back where it came from. Let me tell you about them roaches. I mean, I had a computer. Y'all know how the computer got a little, what do you call it, like a little fan inside of it? I turned my computer on. That fan started going on that computer. I had to throw the computer. I had to throw everything out. The toaster had all kind of roaches in the bottom. I couldn't have a coffee maker. I had a coffee maker. I don't know. I was making coffee and I saw the little thing on the side. I said, what's that brown shit? It's supposed to help you see the amount of, how much water you put in it. It's fucking roach in there. Man, I was so terrified, traumatized by these motherfucking roaches. I mean, anything, you pick up your shoe, it's a roach under there. You don't have a bookshelf. Oh my God. Don't have a fucking bookshelf. A painting on the wall, move that painting, it's 20 roaches under there. It's roaches everywhere. They just crawling across your stove, crawling across your refrigerator. Anything, you move your broom, there's a fucking roach. That shit was infested. And I said to myself, I was so angry. I was young, but I was so angry with my ex-husband. How dare you? You move in, everything look okay. And when he said, we're going to move here because it's close to 285. I said, okay. Had no idea. He didn't even know it was Somalis there. This is why you have a woman involved. She want to see the neighborhood, see what it looks like in daytime, see what it looks like at night. She want to come see, walk through. Women know what to look for. The quality of the bathroom setup, the lighting. Women know stuff. You got to talk to a woman. But of course, him being a bullheaded, ultra masculine man he was, I'm paying for everything, so I'm going to pick the apartment. He fucked up bad. We signed a lease. I moved in. We started, furnishing the place. And, you see the first roach. You're like, whoa, the fuck? You go to sleep, you wake up, you come into the fucking kitchen, you turn the light on, and you just see 30, 50 roaches just scattering. Oh, shit. And it was just like a learning lesson. Every time I turn around, I pick up something, it's a roach. I had to brace myself. If I put my cup down and pick it up, I have to, if it's been sitting there more than 10 minutes, you can't even leave a cup sitting. You'll find a roach floating in it. You understand? You understand how horrible that was? I was traumatized at the age of 19, being infiltrated by roaches. Motherfuckers crawling on you when you sleep, crawling on your bed. Don't leave no laundry sitting around. Oh my God. Oh my God. It was terrible. Oh my God. I had to deal with that shit for a year. And I went over to the management over and over and over again. I said, listen, y'all got to do something. He told me, he said, ma'am, if all the people around you are dirty and nasty, and these people are, he said it because he's black. Hold on. Let me see if I could switch my earplug. Let me see. I had to switch. He told me, he said, if all the people are dirty and nasty, if all the people are dirty and nasty, you're not going to get rid of roaches. They're going to come through the vents. They're going to come everywhere. And then you could do it. I said, what? He had them spray every week. It did not. He had them fogging. They call them bombs. I was like, dude, I'm keeping my place extra clean. He was just like, ma'am, they been had them. Then people came here. It's roaches everywhere. He said this place is infested. That's what he told me. He said this whole shit, all these buildings. I said, can we move somewhere else? He said, ain't no, it's roaches everywhere. This shit is infested. Y'all, ooh wee. And that's what they live in. They don't mind. And that's one of the things when they used to have their door open, because sometimes they would leave their door open. 'Cause they're such a community, they just leave the fucking door open. Now I can't see the rest of their house, but I would notice they all got plastic chairs in that motherfucker. Who puts plastic chairs around the perimeter of their living room? Who does that? You don't know what a couch is? Really? They got plastic tables. They've been living there for a long time. That's the level of, how they operate. They don't vacuum. Motherfuckers don't vacuum. I don't even know if they pick up the floor. Carpet be nasty as fuck. Man. And them kids just rambunctious and tearing up shit. They got holes in the wall. Oh my God. Oh my God. They live like slum. And they throw that trash out there. I was so disgusted living around them Somalis. I was just like, ugh. And none of them talked to me. They could never speak English. Just fat women wobbling around, real big fat ones, just wobbling around with babies. Shit was disgusting, you know. And they got gangs and crime, and I saw that when I was there. They had them guys that just acting like niggas. They was acting like they was on Crenshaw, turning music up, raggedy ass cars, sitting around. This 19, 20-year-old guys, they don't work. In the Somali community, them not 19, they should be productive. They should be 18, 19, 20, 21. Mm-mm. And they fail in school, all of them. Failures. They be wasting taxpayer dollars. They don't care nothing about learning. They be on their phones. They disrespectful. They be lying to their parents. They lie to their mamas and their daddies. Y'all. And I was gonna say the other thing is, in addition to um being marrying their cousins and inbreeding, another thing is they got polygamy. Now I'm a polygamist, okay? But it's different. They force polygamy on women. Okay? They got a different culture. They're not assimilating.
They can't assimilate. They don't have American values. They can't get with it. A lot of people who come here, they say to themselves, you know what? This works. We see that something about America works. If we adapt the same attitude, I'm not saying we all honest people, but it's not the norm in us as everyday Americans. What can I steal today? What can I fraud today? That's not the normal, mentality. I don't wake up with like, you know, and y'all know how I know I'm talking, right? Is because they said that right now it's a ghost town and people are scared to go outside. Now, if 95% of y'all are legal and you're citizens, naturalized citizens, if 95% of y'all are either naturalized citizens or birthright citizens, what are y'all running from? Because on social media, you telling everybody you don't care. You're not going anywhere. But why are you hiding? I believe that a lot of them have committed fraud. And I believe that I think that they're going to end up with RICO charges. Because all they got to do is go through Medicaid and see all of these different, people's names, how much money they got. They participated with this, but they already know who the fraudulent people are. They're going to go through the records and they're going to be like, okay, so now in this neighborhood, we have exactly 800 people who benefited from the fraud. They participated. And over here, we got another 800 and another 800. It's going to be like that. And that's why there's guilt. That's why there's running. Because if ICE came through this bitch right now, I'm a citizen. I'm not gonna run. I'm not gonna duck. I'm not gonna dodge. I'm like, hello. Tell me what ID you need to see so I can produce that. If I got a birth certificate, passport, and I got a Georgia ID, which one you want? If you want me to call my mama, you can talk to her. What you want? I wouldn't blink a fucking eye. I ain't running. I ain't dipping. I ain't dodging. I ain't committing no crime. You understand? These people are guilty. They're fucking guilty. That's why they hiding out. They're not sure if there's. And a lot of them have fraudulent visas, fraudulent paperwork to come here. See, that guilt is making them run. They're running because they're not sure what part of the fraud they're gonna get caught up with. All of them are doing dirt. So now, even despite you a citizen, you running like a motherfucker. You hiding. Why? Why? Make it make sense. That ain't nothing but guilt. But online they talking shit. I'm proud. I know, I know, I know. Okay. All right, motherfucker. Keep talking. Keep talking. Let me say this. I think I'm concerned, and I do believe that the Republican Party is going to use and weaponize this situation to make a comeback to unify MAGA. I do believe that. I think they are going to capitalize off of it. They have been wanting a problem, and the texture and the time is right. Trump's last term, this is the last hurrah. Okay, they will probably never have anybody as reckless and crazy in which they can act a fool. They saw on January 6th that they could do whatever they want to do, right? The way he talks, he doesn't care about political correctness. He doesn't care about the law. He doesn't care about the Constitution. This is a time of chaos. You can pretty much do anything. He's kind of a fascist. With his permission, you can get away with anything. Anything you do that's fucked up, you'll be pardoned. Don't worry about it. As long as he likes you, you're good. Okay? So what I'm saying is the Republican Party, the extreme right, they want to take full advantage of this. They really, 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 really would love to fight with black people. After all these years, they then waited through the Democrats, Republicans, and all and now it's like an anti woke movement. And the Democrat white people then got quiet as fuck. They getting their money, especially in the government. White people quiet. White lips are quiet. They ain't got nothing to say. All that gay pride and trans pride. Oh, they quiet. They quiet. They shutting up too. They know what it is. They quiet. And so this is the perfect storm. I mean, you could have all these black people rile them up, get them out there protesting. So why these like, hey niggers, where y'all at? Don't y'all want to fight? And black people like, nah, we good. Why they like, what about George Floyd? Don't y'all want to fight? Don't y'all want to loot something? Don't y'all want to protest? We like, nah, we good. We eating popcorn. We chilling. And they pretty much figured out, like, no matter what you do, we don't give a fuck. And we're not coming outside. We're not arguing with you. We're not having, no problems. We're not looking for no problems. We're not finna collectively do shit. We got no response. Nothing. We got nothing. You close museums, change the text, but we don't give a fuck. We don't care. We going to work. We living our best life. We eat popcorn. Okay. So they've already realized the black folks just don't give a fuck. We're out of this. Whatever you think you're gonna do, you gonna do that shit by yourself. We're not egging up man, we're not entertaining it. So sorry. Sorry to disappoint you. So they've been looking for some brown people to fight with, you understand? These ultra right. This is the right time. You got Trump in office. You can act a whole goddamn fool. And these people want a race war. They feel like they're white. And they gotta take their country back. Da, da, da. It's a perfect storm. Perfect fucking storm. You got the right conditions. You've already been pardoned by Trump. You can do anything. And now what happens? We find out the worst nightmare has come true across state lines. Billions and billions of dollars. Dollars we haven't even discovered. All kinds of fraud, all kinds of crime. And it's these dark Muslim people from Africa. Man, you could not have created a more perfect storm. This is the white man's worst nightmare. Every fear he ever had has come true. They're Muslims, we're Christians. I'm not a Christian, I'm talking about them. They want to fight Islam. This is the people. These people, these Somalis, y'all, I'm trying to tell you, they are, I see the comments people are making. They don't understand how much trouble they're in. They do not understand. They do not fucking, they're not reading the room at all. They take too stupid. They literally, I feel bad for them at this point because I'm seeing them walk into a burning building. They are so stupid. I don't even know. I wish there was a word beyond stupid, like retarded. Okay. If you look at what they're doing, they're getting on the internet and they're being arrogant and they're bragging. And then now they're starting to blame the government for them stealing. You understand? You're giving people your ass to kiss. Any kind of sympathy, or how do you say, a second chance. When you do like this and you talk like this, Ilhan, she's leading. They're not saying we're sorry. They're not acknowledging any accountability. They're not doing any of that. They are talking shit. I'm seeing them like tell white people, "This country belongs to me. This country, Minnesota belongs to Somalia." Oh my God, y'all, that. Mm-mm. And they're getting very bold with it. They're saying some real outlandish shit. They're saying that everybody in America is jealous of that man. They saying some shit, and it's starting to go viral. And let me show y'all where I'm going with this. Let me show y'all where I'm going with this. These right wing extremists, like the Oath Keepers and the Proud Boys, neo-Nazi groups, those known and unknown. There's a lot of sleeper cell militias, and I've been listening. I want y'all to hear this. Let me move the volume up so y'all can hear this. Listen to this. Okay, I think the volume is as high as it can go. Listen to this. That almost all of Washington is either bribed, blackmailed, or both. Sure. Yeah, of course. And I think, I'll be honest, I think Trump, uh, I think he's sitting back and he's wondering where the hell is Ultra MAGA? Where the hell is MAGA coming to the front? Uh, because obviously, uh, when are they going to get the message that he can't do what needs to be done? Yeah, I think that I think he's sitting back. He's like, "Where the hell are you?" They've definitely seen a lot of change in political basing this year. I think 2025 was hopes and dreams that were shattered by the American people. Those dreams that were shattered was justice actually coming through? Would we see justice for them like justice for me? And I think that some of that dream was shattered. And now we're at that realization period where the American people are going to start getting a little bit angry. And we all know what happens when the American people get angry. It's usually not good. I think a little angry is probably past or a little understating it. I think there's people that are just absolutely bursting at the seams, seething, and just really, it's a powder keg. Uh, I'm not necessarily part of it, but I'm closely observant of it. Yeah. Right. Okay. These guys, I was listening to them talk. All the guys who calling into this channel are military, law enforcement, some are FBI, CIA. different agencies. They're very organized. These former military men and former law enforcement. They often are still connected to the current, you know, whoever is currently an officer or in the military. They're still connected, y'all. Then they're not like separated. They're still part of that. They still have that camaraderie and brotherhood. And they use these type of organizations like Oath Keepers and Proud Boys to keep and maintain. You will find that a lot of the people that call in are still in the military. Still, this is a call in show. Still police officers, right? They take on these. I heard him say something named. I forgot what he said. He called them like Triangle Gadget or something. I was like, Triangle Gadget? What the fuck is that? They got code names because they're still in the government and they can't let their names be known. So they give themselves some kind of weird nicknames to so you can make a reference to who they are. I guess it's like YouTube, you just pick a random name. But they get famous by that random name. And if you listen to what he said, I know Trump is he basically saying Trump has called us and he's wondering where we are, why we haven't shown up to do what he needs to get done, doing what we know he can't do. You understand? There's a lot of code language. And it even was funny in the end because he was like, I'm close proximity to it, but I'm not part of it. I was like, oh, here we go. Motherfucker, please. That's what they do. They try to act like they know about stuff, but they're not part of it. They're speaking on behalf of someone else. This is what they do because they're all, a lot of them are connected and they're in the government still, they're in law enforcement still. So they have to be careful what they say, right? But these militiamen, they're ready. And you heard what he said. He said, "You're doing an understatement." He's pointed out, dudes. Oh, yeah, a little angry. It's all code language. He said, "I think a little angry is an understatement." He says more like a powder keg. We're seizing. You know what seizing is? It's like a heavy shaking, vibration, convulsions. We're seizing. That's what he said. Seizing. These white people, I'm watching them. They're responding. They're watching all these videos I'm watching. He watched that particular video before this commentary with that Somalian guy who was talking to a picture of Trump, telling Trump that he wasn't shit. They get real bold, man. That mouth will write a check your ass cannot cash. Okay? So I just wanted to go over that. Um, Listen to people. Look in the comments. The stuff people are saying about the Somalians in Maine is the same stuff they're saying. They're talking about how nasty they are, how they cuss people out, they treat you like shit when you come to their businesses. They're not very civil people. You guys literally they're like black cave people. I'm not being hyperbolic here. They are even the Africans are saying y'all are embarrassing. The fact that you even from Africa. And somebody asked a good question. They said, well, if you're Arab like you say you are, why the Arab people are not standing up for y'all? Why the Arab community is not defending you? And that's another thing I want to say that the Somalis are not Muslims. Okay? They're not Muslims. They have taken on a Muslim facade, but they're not actually like really practicing Muslims, in my opinion. I think they just don't know what else to be. That's where they come from. But whatever version of Islam they're doing is kind of like it's the outfit more than anything. It's kind of like a facade. It's not real. Like I said, I seen these guys, you know, drinking beer, smoking, playing hip hop music. I told y'all I was a horrible Muslim and I knew I couldn't act right. So that's why I said, you know what, let me back away from Islam because this religion is too sacred, too beautiful for me to be, a raggedy rascal calling myself a Muslim. I'm not worthy of being a Muslim because I can't control myself. I have real desires and it ain't got nothing to do with conforming to this. I have to be honest with myself. Don't play with religion. Don't play with people's faith and what that represents. And that's what I'm telling you about the Somalis. The Somalis, it's a facade. The way they live and the way they do, they are very much out of order. You know, they drink, they smoke, they sell drugs, they're gangsters, they have guns and shit. That's not Islam. That's not Islam. You can't live like that. You can't sit outside. Muslims believe that at nighttime there's nothing present but the devil. You go in your home. They hang out all night long, drinking, smoking, cussing, talking crazy, raping and all, you know, violence and all kind of shit. They are not practicing Muslim. Do not look to a Somali to be a example of a Muslim. They're not. It's just that they come from a country where they've been told that they're Islamic, so they put on the garb, and that garb them women wear is more about control, men controlling women. It's not really about Islam. I'm just being honest because I know what I know about Islam, and they don't practice Islam. So anyway, but yeah, listen, those guys are oath keepers and they're talking and they're getting very activated. And what I have said already on my last stream is I do believe that these white men, he said Trump is calling for us. I mean, y'all go back and rewind it and listen to it. He said Trump is looking for us. And Trump told them on January 1st, January 6th, he told them, he said, Proud Boys, stand down, stand by. He said, stand down and stand by. They're repeating stuff he said. I'm following a lot of different chatter, and I'm not even in discords. God forbid I should infiltrate some discords. Woo! I just don't want to, I stay away. I don't want to fly too close to the sun. I don't want my motherfucking name, IP, or nothing else I got going on affiliated by going into spaces I ain't got no business being nosy. You understand? I don't want to come up on the list because I just want to know too much. I'ma stay my distance. Okay. Mela said, "What would you say is preventing you from committing to the five pillars of Islam?" Um, I can't act right, Mela. I like to drink. I'm not like drinking all the time, but I like to drink. You know, I like to drink. I like my music. It's a lot of rules to Islam, and I love it as a lifestyle. But it's a lot of stuff. Like I have, like this whole room right here is covered in paintings, images of people and places I've been. You're not allowed to have pictures and images at all. No art in your house. You're not allowed to under Islam. Islam has a lot of strict rules, and most of it I could not conform to. I just could not conform to it. In Muslims, you're not supposed to listen to all this music. I listen to wordless music and music that doesn't mean anything to me because it's in another language. Like I listen to a lot of what you call it, Afro beats. I don't know what the fuck they be saying, but I got a lot of that from Islam. Trying to find a way to hear music, but it not be suck my pussy, baby, suck my pussy, baby. But at the same time, I got to come real with myself. I'm just a rugged raw bitch. You know, I like to cuss. I can't act right, honey. I can't act right. Muslims are very demure and they behave. And I tried it for a while, trust me. And I think I was a good Muslim while I was doing it, but I was so miserable. I was so suppressed. Yes, honey, it's Western culture. I got the great shaitan right here, and I lived in seclusion, and I was a miserable person. That's what you have to do. You have to stay away from everything. And I remember when it dawned on me, I went down to see what this Freaknik is about. I had no idea what Freaknik was. I was a young girl, just in college. I was just getting into college, and I was like, everybody's talking about Freaknik. Let me go see what the fuck this is. And I went downtown, and I'm sitting there with my kimar hijab, fully covered body, and I'm just like, I'm gonna sit on this bench and act like I'm not here to participate because I'm not. And I just looked at it and I was just like, whoa. Because I'm from the suburbs. I ain't never seen no shit like that. They got low riding cars. They bouncing up and down. They got bitches running in and out of cars. They twerking and popping it. They jumping on the roof. They on the damn back of the car. Then you got dudes humping on the chicks. They jumping on the ground humping. I said, whoa, what the fuck is this? I said, wow. They drinking, smoky smell weed in the air. I was like, wow, what the whole fuck? I just hadn't seen nothing like that. And I'm talking about they taking up the whole downtown. Everywhere you listen is music, smoke, drinking, people just partying everywhere. It was wild. And I just wanted to see what the fuck it was. And so I think eventually my curiosity, got the best of me. I had never done anything. I want to go to a club. What's that like? I want to go to a bar. What's that like? And then I realized, like, I'm in Atlanta where they got a stripper culture. What is that like? I had too many curiosities. I want to dance. I want to party. I'm in college. The life I'm living is boring. It sucks. You know, I thought I wanted Islam until I had to actually conform to it. And it's the praying constantly. Oh my God. Oh man, your whole life is surrounded by prayer. Pray in the morning at 5 o'clock. Yeah, wake up at 5 o'clock to pray. Pray at 10, pray at 12, pray at 2, pray at 9. I'm like, God damn. And the thing is, if you're not doing something from your heart, if it's not your greatest desire, then what are you doing it for? For who? So that's why I kind of had to just, I said, well, I got to be honest with me. I'm just not a good Muslim because I am too westernized. Somehow, some way, I conform to Western culture. And I struggle with that. I'm still a very Islamic person, but I have to do a hybrid. I still don't eat pork. I eat halal meat. I cover my body completely except my head. You know, I like when I go to swim, I completely have on pants and a long shirt. I wear a whole outfit in the pool. You're not gonna catch me. I'm very modest. I've been modest since I was like, yeah, 16. I've practiced modesty for so long. Like it's very difficult for me to even think about like putting on some fucking shorts like that, or a little like tight anything, little tidy dress or some shit. I can't do it. I would feel so naked. I've been practicing modesty for so long. But anyway, yeah. So this is one of the things that I was thinking about, you know, and then people start talking about, oh, the 14th Amendment. I'm gonna say this real quick. I ain't gonna stay all day on this, but 14th Amendment. I had to go on Bomb Cherry's channel, and I had to address it because pure butterfly. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't like white people in general. I don't like white people. They have proven to me to be evil, and I'm so convinced that I just don't like them. I don't like them, and I'm unapologetic. You can call it racism, discrimination. I don't give a fuck. I do not give a fuck. I don't like them. To me, it's just a matter of time before they give you their ass to kiss. Just a matter of time or opportunity situation. They're great betrayers. I just think they're inherently evil, okay? And that's my fucking opinion. I'm not gonna apologize for it. And so I'm very leery of dealing with white people. I have worked with white people. I've dealt with white. I can deal with white people. But I see your ass. Don't trust me. I see you, boo, and I'm waiting on you. I'm waiting on you to fuck up. I already know you're gonna stab me. That's why I'm not gonna turn my back to you. So that's how I can deal with white people. I deal with them in that capacity. I know your ass is eventually gonna fuck up because that's their nature. What is it called? Scorpion and the frog. Eventually, you're gonna fuck up. That's just your nature. You don't know how to not bite people. You were built to bite people. So I got to make sure you don't bite me. Don't give you too much. Don't get too close. Anyway, this 14th Amendment thing. This is the one thing that I think that black people and white Americans, and when I say black, I mean black Americans, can actually agree to. I think that we can stand together, unified, and say that we agreed that black people were the people who were intended to be here for birthright citizenship. It is the 14th Amendment. It ain't about bringing the world here. It's not. Stop the bullshit. And so the Supreme Court is about to hear about this in the spring of 2026. The Supreme Court is going to address it. And I I wasn't getting upset. I just couldn't take it anymore. I have a problem with bowed, broken black people. Why do we act like white people when they're around us that they get some kind of fucking extra treatment? I don't understand that. I don't conform to none of that. I saw Pure Butterfly. I had already been on Bomb Cherries talking about loneliness and my love of my life, my next door neighbor Harry. And Pure Butterfly got up there after I left, and she proceeded to do her normal dance. She curses in such a way that you know she would never do around white people. Fucking this, fucking that, fuck. She doesn't even think about there's some elders. There's older gentlemen, and there may even be some older women in the. Just a basic respect and respect for Bomb Cherry's channel. She cusses a lot, but that's her fucking channel. And I just said, look at this. She's been doing this dance so long when she says fucking every two sentences, which is unnecessary. And she's belligerent, she's screeching, she's out of control, she's hysterical, reckless, just too much. And she doesn't care that she's draining anybody's energy and she's talking too much. She talks over people. And these black folks just let her do whatever she want to do. And I just couldn't take it because she was gaslighting, telling people, well, if you don't support the Somalis, you'll be next. And she made the statement clear: black people, black Americans will be next to be deported. At that point, I couldn't take it no more. Yeah, she's open minded, but that's what I'm telling you, y'all black folks, y'all can't see. That's what I'm saying. That's the white privilege. That yelling and that screaming and that fucking and all that cussing and talking over people. Y'all think because she's white it's okay. That's what it is. I'm just be honest with you. Because if it was a black woman cutting people off like that and talking over people the way she does, they'd have been said, "Look, sis, you just need to chill out." They'd address her. Nobody addresses Pure. They let her just cut people off. She don't have no respect. I mean, make that make sense. You can be open minded all day, but if you have a man who's speaking and you just start talking over him like he's nobody, what is that? What is that? So what? You are more important? Is that what you're doing? What you have is to say is more valuable. He's mid sentence and you're just cutting him off and talking over him. It's not even an argument. She talked over a bomb chair. She just talks over people like you're nobody. You're nobody. Literally, when you talk over people like that, as a way of life, you think those people ain't shit. And nothing they say has any value. And that's what I'm saying. Black people are broken because we don't see that. We don't want to see it. It's a white woman. Let her talk. Nah, fuck that. Fuck that. You know. And I don't and that's why a lot of times white people don't like me because I see them. I grew up with white people. Now I didn't grow up with no white trash. I grew up with middle to upper middle class white people, you know? And I don't worship them. They ain't nothing special. Like I had what they had. Same privilege they got, I got. You know what I'm saying? I feel just as I feel just as privileged and arrogant as they asses do. I don't give them nothing. I don't give them no room. You barely my equal, honey. That's how I see them. You barely my equal. And so yeah, I don't. You said, do I have a panel link? I don't, because I didn't. Listen, honey, I got that cheap ass stream yard. And I was only gonna be on here for a little bit. I don't have a panel link. Um, I have a stream yard, but I have to set it up. Tell me what kind of stuff you want to talk about, and I could always I could set up a stream for in the future. I like doing panels, but you never know who's gonna show up. Sometimes people show up, sometimes they don't. And I got a limited. I got a free stream yard, so I can only get what seven? Is it so many hours? 30, 20 hours or something? And so I try to use it sparingly. You said in the interest of Islam, my first husband tried to get me to convert. Oh, what do you want to do? You have a conversation about Islam? I could schedule something like that for an open panel conversation for another time, definitely. But anyway, I wanted to kind of address that whole pure thing, and I just really wish black people would stop worshiping white people. I really wish we would. We got to stop worshiping white people. We got to stop doing that, and we don't even see it. They just step all over us talk over us, treat us any kind of way. And we just take it. A lot of us, we just take it because we just think that's how it's supposed to be. They assume that they are above and better, and they treat themselves like they're better, and they treat us like we're less than, and we just naturally fall into line. And so I had to go up there, and I did a little quick speech and soliloquy, and I said I want you and everybody who can hear my voice to understand we will not, as Black people, be told by anybody. You see, they think they have authority to tell you about yourself. Motherfucker, you ain't me. You ain't even Black. Shut your motherfucking ass up. You don't have the authority to speak on what's going to happen to Black people. You understand? They take authority. I'm talking about white people in general, her in specific. They take the authority to speak on people, to speak for people. You cannot predict the nature of my people and what's going to happen to us. You don't fucking know shit. You an outsider. You ain't Black. You don't get to tell Black people that they're gonna get deported after the motherfucking Somalis. Who the hell do you think you are? And I'm just that bitch. I will check a motherfucker. You ain't this community. Shut your goddamn ass up. You don't have the authority. How do you think you have the audacity to tell Black people like you know something? I don't like white folks. That shit I don't like. I cannot accept none of it. And I'm not. And I have to come around Black people sometime in front of white folk and remind them, we do not owe you shit. Shut your ass up. And I said my family and all of our lineages, we have survived. We know what the fuck we doing. We ain't going nowhere. Ain't nobody finna make us leave. We are 48 million strong. And I had to throw in how many planes, trains, automobiles, and ships would it take to get rid of 48 million people? Because you got to tap into people's intellect a little bit. They don't be as smart as they think. Do the math, motherfucker. How many trains, planes, and automobiles and ships would it take to deport 48 million Black people? Okay, there we go. Shut your ass up, dummy. Shut up. Pure, shut the fuck up. If you listening, shut the fuck up. I get tired of white people. They have no authority. They don't know anything. I get sick of them. And so I had to come up there and let that be known. Just saying stupid shit, trying to fearmonger Black people. Shut your ass up. You are nobody's friend. Shut your ass up. Telling Black people they gonna be deported. Your white ass might get deported. Anyway, let me move on. So I get mad for real. Okay, so that was the 14th Amendment. And then what the fuck did I write right here? I wrote something. What did I write? Damn it. I can't read my writing. I talked about them not assimilating and what is this? A Chukis. The fuck is that? I don't know what I wrote. I don't know what I wrote. Yeah, but the 14th Amendment and 80s E LEH. What the fuck is my pen was going out? And that one right there, UEA. I don't know what I wrote. Pay. Anyway, I think I'm done with my stream. But the thing I was gonna say is they better be careful. They better be careful because these Proud Boys and these folks, they will come. They're sitting ducks, and they will come. I'm paying attention to what I'm seeing on the internet. They will come. They're coming. They're coming by 2026, sometime in there, early 2026. The powder keg is real. It's real. So I'm gonna play. I'm gonna play White Boy on my way out. I'm gonna play this in case it wasn't able to be heard. Let me turn the volume up all the way. Let me turn this up. I'm gonna play it one more time. And one other little thing that almost all of Washington is either bribed, blackmailed, or both. Sure. Yeah, of course. And I think, I'll be honest, I think Trump, uh,
I think he's sitting back and he's wondering where the hell where the hell is Ultramaga?
I think Trump is sitting back wondering where the hell is Ultra MAGA. These some oath keeper type motherfuckers. That's military and shit talking about this. They are discussing the Somalians. And they're saying that Trump needs them to do what he can. Y'all do understand that he helped them to organize. I'm holding my phone up to damn it. I'm holding my phone up to the shit like y'all can hear it. Let me take my earplug. Hold on.
Yeah,
That almost all of Washington is either bribed, blackmailed, or both.
sure. Yeah, of course.
And I think, I'll be honest, I think Trump, uh, I think he's sitting back and he's wondering where the hell where the hell is Ultramaga?
Trump is sitting back waiting for us.
Where the hell is MAGA coming to the front? Uh, because obviously, uh, when are they going to get the message that he can't do what needs to be done?
Yeah, I think that
You know, and I think he's sitting back. He's like, "Where the hell are you?"
they've definitely seen a lot of change in political basing this year. I think 2025 was hopes and dreams that were shattered by the American people. Those dreams that were shattered was justice actually coming through.
He's saying that basically white folks wanted to see some real action and they didn't get it in 2025. So he's talking about coming forward in the future, getting some real action. This is probably likely an oath keeper.
Would we see justice for them like justice for me? And I think that some of that dream was shattered. And now we're at that realization period where the American people are going to start getting a little bit angry.
We're going to start getting a little bit angry. Pay attention. He's trying to talk in code.
And we all know what happens when the American people get angry. It's you.
And we all know what happens when the American people, us white supremacists, when we get angry. And y'all know what happens when they get and we get angry? Y'all know what happens? When they get angry, they burn down, they surround and burn down black cities and towns and communities. That's what they do. Historically, that's what they do when they get mad. They surround the place and they burn that bitch down and everybody in it. They destroy communities. We have a whole long history of that. And that's what's gonna happen. These Somalis gonna fuck around and find out. Them people will come and they will literally burn and bomb. Y'all, they've been wanting this race war. Them motherfuckers out there in them woods running and ducking and dodging and doing army games. They ready. They're talking. Y'all listen, they talking. I'm telling y'all, matter of fact, fucking Tabitha this morning early, she started calling it too. Tabitha was like, y'all gonna fuck around. These white folks coming for y'all. Be careful. These white supremacists are listening. Tabitha told them this morning. People who pay attention to shit are listening. They like, ooh, ooh, oh shit. Uh-oh. I'm paying attention. Listen.
Usually not good.
I think a little angry is probably past or a little understating it.
I think a little angry is understating it. See, dude is trying to talk in code and he's trying to get dude to stay in code, right? They're both talking in code, kind of. Now he's going to say, you're saying a little angry, but I know what you really mean is, watch this.
I think there's people that are just absolutely bursting at the seams, seething.
There are people who are bursting at the seams. He ain't talking about himself. He's talking about them. They always do that. They always talk about somebody else. That's one thing I noticed. They don't ever say it like it's me. They always talk about it like it's people, somebody else. These motherfuckers, they bursting at the seams. They're angry. I listen.
And just really, it's a powder keg.
It's a powder keg. Y'all listen to what they saying.
I'm not necessarily part of it.
I'm not necessarily part of it. Sure.
But I'm closely observant.
I'm closely observant of it. Mm-hmm.
Of it.
Yeah, right.
And one other little thing.
He changed the subject. He didn't want to go further. Smart. Don't go too far. Don't go too far. You public. But this is basically two oath keeper type dudes talking about Trump is waiting on them to do what must be done that he can't directly do. He says that I'm sure Trump is waiting on us, wondering why we haven't responded, right? This shit is out here. All you gotta do is listen to these white men. Go listen to these white, these ones, was it the fighters, the keepers, and the rebels. They have all these different kind of like masculinized names in their social media. Listen to them. Listen to them. Type Somali in, type in ICE or immigration, and type in some of them key masculine words, and you'll come up with some of their content. But yeah, the Oath Keeper. I was listening to him the other day. He said 3 weeks ago he got a call clearly, and he said he's about to mount up. They're about to reorganize, and he said they are waiting on Trump, and that he is a militia. He's running 40,000 white men strong, and he said we are under your command. We can do what your army, but you can't tell your army to do. That's what he said. This shit is said out loud. But black people don't listen to white people. We just be like, I don't like you. I don't care. Right? I listen to them. I've learned to listen to them. People think I'm a fan of Nick Fuentes. I'm not a fan. I fucking listen because I like to see where their motherfucking head is going. It's the nature of the work I do. I like to be in line with the vibe of where their brains are going, how they think, their processing. We don't like to study people because it's too uncomfortable to get out of your own skin and try to understand somebody else's perspective. That's why I can come into rooms and make change. That's why I can do what I do because I listen to these motherfuckers. I can speak their language. I totally get white people because I grew up with them. I hear the said and the unsaid. I hear the code. I know their code. I know their code. I know racism. I know microaggression language. I know all of that shit. I pick up everything. And that's why I can work with them. I can get them to conform as an activist. I can do everything I need to do because I have the language to speak to them and I have the brain to understand. I listen to your white man. I disagree with y'all motherfuckers, but I understand. So we can have a conversation. That's why I can sit with O'Toole, the great Confederate, and stand there civilly and have a conversation. I can do that. I can converse with Confederates. You are my arch enemy. I know it. You know it. We're in battle. We're in legal fights. But guess what? I can sit at the table with you, and that's how I do the work I do. I sit at a table civilly. I'm not gonna argue with you. I'm gonna tell you this is what it is. This is what I propose. These are the things I'm willing to make concessions on. Now, what do you want to do? And that's all we're gonna talk about. Okay, that's all we're gonna discuss. He says, "What do you need to be done? What does what needs to be done specifically mean?" Shit, he means terrorize. They gonna have people. Them people are sitting ducks. They gonna find out. They gonna find out. They gonna find out soon. You said sounds like bloodlust. Yeah, yeah. I gotta get going. I gotta put a lot of these dates on the calendar and run some invoices. So I can't be on here long. What I was gonna say is, oh, I think that's activists. And that's what I was gonna say too. A lot of people, get on the internet and they be doing all that screaming and hollering about some great. And I want to say this. I have shared some of my work, and I want y'all to look at the most recent short. I have a short I'm about to share, and I made this short video. Um, I think it happened in what 2020. I think it was 2021, maybe. And that's when I had an experience with white supremacists that move around. And that's why I'm concerned for these Somalis. I think they need to shut the fuck up because they don't understand that these white supremacists, if they get mad, they start moving around. Okay? They move around. They'll finance a trip. They'll pull their posses and their militias together and they get their guns. They have what do you call it? They get hard. They get excited about going on a mission. Y'all hear me? Going on a mission. They get a chance to operate with their what is it called? Masculine testosterone. They get a chance to act out their white masculinity. And once they do that, they kind of become what's the word? Like mob mentality, and it's a dangerous thing. Angry white men acting out their white patriarchal masculinity with guns on a mission. And especially when they're former trained military and law enforcement, you talking about some really dangerous shit. That whole thing right there, especially in stand your stand your ground states and open carry states. That shit is dangerous. And I want y'all to look at my short that I'm gonna share. And if you look in there, you'll see a white guy, and he's standing very like direct in front of me, and he has a big gun, and he has two guys standing behind him. I'm confronting them, asking them, "Why are you in Stone Mountain? Who do you think you're going to shoot with your gun? And why are you invading this black community?" These are the questions I have, and this is what he's answering to me. He came across the street to say and respond to me. Okay, so you see a red house in the background, and you see their masked and shit with these big ass guns. And I'm talking to them, asking them why. I'm confronting them. Why are you here? Why are you invading this community? And who you think you're gonna shoot with that gun? What you gonna do? And the crazy thing is, for all of that bullshit, that motherfucker's talking just as civil. Not one time did he threaten me or say he want. And he told me, he said, "I'm not gonna shoot anybody." That's what I'm saying. You got some real ones out here, though. You got some real ones out here. So I would be careful. These some of these guys is putting on, but you can't tell the difference. That's the part. You can't tell the difference. I think the Oath Keepers and the Proud Boys, I think they're real dangerous. They dangerous, and the Klan just like to dress up. Them motherfuckers ain't gonna do shit. They all old, mostly. Confederates really ain't gonna do shit either. It's these new motherfuckers, these military connected, law enforcement connected ones I worry about. Because a lot of active law enforcement and military is in them. And that means they can cover up stuff, set up. They they got a lot of skills. They can do a lot of damage, and get away with it. Sharpshooters and shit. I don't know. So anyway, um, I've been sharing some of my activism and why I keep my focus on watching white supremacists and how they move. And in that particular case, they literally traveled from different parts of the South. They travel from, Kentucky and Tennessee. They travel from parts of Georgia and Florida. They came state by state. Them motherfuckers arrived, you know. They was on a mission. And when they got here, we had already sounded the alarm to the governor, like, hey, these motherfuckers coming. Police departments and stuff started getting calls. And next thing you know, Governor Kemp he told them to shut the city down, tell all them black stores to close their asses up because it's an all black town. Stone Mountain is what 90%, 85% black. All them black folks had to shut them down. They told them stay in the house. This in this modern fucking time. They said stay in the house. If you live in Stone Mountain, the city of Stone Mountain, stay in the house. Shut your businesses down for the day. They put blockades up all across the street, blocking all the streets off. They had the FBI, the GBI, the Georgia Highway State Patrol. They had the local police department, and they had the National Guard. We had soldiers and tanks in the street, y'all. We had helicopters in the air. It was so much surveillance and shit out there. It was crazy. There was fighting, there was fires, there was tussling and guns. This shit was crazy. And the only thing that kept everything from getting real nasty was when they started throwing I think they started throwing smoke bombs or something, to tell the crowd to back up. They had to keep the Confederates and the racists separate from they had to keep them separate from the other protesters. They ended up being outnumbered, but they had guns, so that's the only saving grace because they had so many guns. That was the only saving grace. If it had not been for them guns, boy, they'd have got a beat down. They were definitely outnumbered, but that didn't stop them from coming from all them different states to come here. So my point is, them Somalis better be careful, because them racists, them organized groups, them militias, them white supremacists, they will organize and they will mount up and they will travel long distances to come see about you. They will come see about you. I'm just telling you. If you don't believe that, look at all them black towns that got burnt down, and think about the movie Sinners. They gonna come for you. Think about Sinners. They gonna come for you, and they're persistent. They don't stop. They don't stop, y'all. So that's just something to think about. These Somalis, they're just too stupid. I said that they retarded. They literally are retarded. Their brains don't even think about the consequences. There are white people here. You're surrounded by white people. You out here in the Midwest. Are you sure that you want to upset people who are in the government and they white supremacists and they in the Oath Keepers and they're in the Proud Boys and other groups you ain't heard of? Are you sure you want to piss them white boys off? Because they can come and in no time they can just burn that whole fucking city down. The area you live in, they can just burn all that shit down. Bomb it, burn it, and then snipe everybody. Just snipe motherfuckers. And then ICE can come in and clean up anyway. I mean, I just wouldn't play with it. They'll have y'all as terrified. All it takes is a couple of snipes. That's it. Some well placed snipers that you could just take out 10 people and them motherfuckers would be terrified. They'd be wanting to go back to Somalia. They need to be careful with the arrogant shit. They need to be, if anything, they need to be humble. Talking about we sorry, we appreciate America. We didn't realize we did too much. They need to be humble. But bragging, talking about we ain't going nowhere and we gonna keep living like this. We gonna keep scamming. Okay. All right. When the white boys show up, the ones you can see and the ones you can't see, you gonna wish you had to shut your goddamn mouth. I ain't scared of white folks, but I know there's some of them that's out here that's organized and they racist as fuck. And they've been waiting on an opportunity and you giving it to them, dummies. Anyway, I gotta go. I got shit to do. It's 7:50. Ashe. Appreciate anybody who watches the stream.